Hey everyone, I'm Jared.
And I'm Chantel.
Welcome to the Port Out Podcast. Today we're talking about marriage. Okay. I feel like we're hopefully a little more
we have notes
with
this
it
week.
today.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like less tired in general, so that's should be helpful.
We've recovered.
If it's worse, then I'm a little concerned. But
how did your tea making go today?
I didn't throw anything in the garbage that shouldn't have gone in the garbage, so that's
success.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so
Marriage.
So we're talking about this because, well, I mean, our anniversary is coming up in
2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so we thought it'd be cool to talk about
this is our golden
marriage
anniversary. I don't know if they do such a thing. Golden
well,
birthdays.
We can make it a thing. We've made it a thing.
Okay. It's now
officially
a thing.
It's a thing.
It's 16 years on the 16th.
Yeah. So now we're obviously qualified to talk about marriage.
Now we can start talking about it.
Well, maybe after 16, do we have to wait until...
That's fine. We'll talk now.
Okay. Well, we've never really been qualified to talk about anything we've talked about so far, so just keeps with
at least
the theme.
I think this we've done longer maybe than some of our other topics, like talking about fostering, and I don't know what else we've talked about. But this is
been married longer than we've done pretty much anything else.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. I wanted to kick things off with, well, originally my thought was top 3 songs or artists, bands that take you back to when we were dating. Mm-hmm. But that's hard to do.
It is. Yeah. I thought of a few artists for sure.
What kind of music were you listening to when we were dating? This is early 2000s.
A lot of different stuff, actually. And I still listen to like a wide variety of genres. But I feel like the stuff that mostly reminds me of like dating years would... how do I classify it? I would classify it as angry nerd rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I like that. Is that a thing? Have you just made that a thing?
No, it's probably like, I don't know.
Because I would say I was definitely kind of like into punk rock and country. Yeah.
2 very different things. Yeah, no, I would say probably punk rock would be like what?
You're angry.
I just call it angry nerd rock because it's
angry nerd rock.
Kind of
I like it.
What it feels like. But,
cool.
Yeah. But country, yes, you listened to some country.
Only for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
It was a very short-lived.
And it wasn't like very good country back then.
Is it better country now?
Well, no, I don't think so. But
I don't listen to country.
That's true. I don't know what it's like now either. But
well, okay.
Okay, so so did you come up with 3?
No, I have like 50.
Okay.
Why don't you start?
That's just going to be entirely, this podcast is just your list of 50 bands or songs.
Yeah, that's all we're going to talk about. Is me talking about music.
Yeah.
So I have quite a few. So
why don't you start then? Because I didn't think of like that many. Although I could list a bunch of bands.
You start, and then I'll talk and say that was also on my list.
Okay, so maybe a more... They're not really obscure. I don't really listen to... we don't listen to the radio.
No, not now.
Anymore. I haven't for 15 years.
Yeah.
Pretty much since we got married.
Yeah.
So I don't know what bands are still a thing anymore and what aren't.
Yeah.
One that I thought of was a Yellow Card. Do you remember Yellow Card?
What? Tell me.
They sang Ocean Avenue.
Okay. Yeah.
And Only One, I think.
Yeah.
That's
that was
the
more
song.
your kind of band. I don't remember.
You don't remember that one? Okay.
No.
Well, that was one that popped into my head.
Okay.
So maybe a little more obscure.
Maybe. Yeah. Because
But for all I know, they might be on the radio now and super popular. I have no idea.
Obscure then, popular now. The one that came into my mind first, the band, is 3 Doors Down.
Okay, that's more rock.
Yes.
Than...
But I was just, before that was just mostly punk rock, but
okay, what's a Three Doors Down song?
Here Without You.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
And now I'm totally blanking on other ones. Kryptonite.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to be able to play Here Without You on guitar.
Yeah, well, exactly. So
Yeah.
that was why Three Doors Down, you would play that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at their other stuff here, I don't know a lot of it, but those two songs, for sure.
Yeah, totally remember listening to those for sure. I don't think I could play that on guitar anymore.
Challenge. You have to learn it by next week.
All right. Challenge probably not accepted. Okay. Okay. What? I'm trying to think of. So there was a bunch of obscure ones. Like, do you remember Dashboard Confessional? Is that a song or a? I think that was a band.
That sounds like a band. I need to know, like.
But I don't know even what songs now.
I thought we would have more overlap.
Well, I'm going for the more obscure ones.
I don't know these songs.
Well, they're apparently still a band, so I would only know songs that
from like 2000.
20 years ago.
Oh, I don't know that. I don't know them.
Okay.
Or I don't remember.
They only had. I only remember like one or two.
They had a song that was in Spider-Man 2 in 2004.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's how I found out about them. I don't know.
Emo rock.
Emo. Yes, I was so emo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. I have a few. Let's go with All American Rejects.
Okay. Yeah. That was definitely one that I thought of.
Swing Swing.
Yeah.
It's a popular
but
one.
But they I think are still making music.
Are they still a band?
Yeah.
Well, they must be ancient by now.
Yeah. I mean, we are, so.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, well, maybe they're not. Oh, I'm so old. I don't know anything. Their last album might have been... Oh, no, they have, like, 2017? So maybe they're not anymore.
Okay, but they were for a while.
Yeah.
What year did we start dating? 2003. 2003.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yep. It's true.
Yeah, makes sense. I graduated in 2004, so makes sense. Simple Plan.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Simple Plan.
Yeah.
Tell me one of their songs, because I'm blanking again. But I know we listen to a lot of them. They have the good ones. We sometimes we'll bust them out with the kids, and then all of a sudden you remember that there's a word in there, and then you gotta quickly.
Yeah, and you don't really pay attention when you're a teenager to what songs are about.
And they often didn't have those on the radio, but they are like on the album or something.
They were Canadian?
Yes.
Huh.
Simple Plan. The one guy married Avril Lavigne, all Canadian kind of thing. Yes.
Oh, I'm Just a Kid.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to My Life.
Welcome to My Life.
Yeah.
Yes, that song.
Perfect. That was a good one.
That's a good one too. Welcome to My Life. That song is in my head a lot, and yeah.
Do you feel like breaking down a lot? Or?
It's got some good lines.
Yeah.
Okay, that means I need one more. I think, right? You started.
Or yeah.
That was
I have
a good
more.
One. Okay, tell me another one.
Well.
Jimmy Eat World.
Oh yeah. Well, there's like 2 songs that Jimmy Eat World had that are really good,
yeah.
And I think the rest are just garbage. But. Linkin Park.
Okay. I don't think I listened to as much Linkin Park as you.
That's more angry.
It was more angry. They were very angry. They were too angry for me. Yeah.
But the biggest one for me is probably Reliant K.
Yeah, it's actually on this list.
Yeah.
I was on a list of punk rock songs from 2004.
Yeah, it's the 2 lefts don't make a right, but 3 do.
That album.
That
Sadie Hawkins. No, wait.
That was before. Sadie Hawkins is from before that.
Mood Rings.
Mood Rings, yeah.
Yeah.
Not that
so
I
you started
associated
dating
Mood
me,
Rings
and
with...
then you started listening to Mood Rings. And now our 12-year-old is listening to it and feeling so known.
Yeah. Okay, did you have another one?
No.
No. Okay. I stole all yours.
Well, I feel like nothing here is popping up, but there was a bunch. I wish I would have some Green Day we listened to.
Yeah.
Nothing else was like, oh yeah, that one.
No, not me.
I mean, I listened to some Avril, but it wasn't like that didn't really make me think of that time.
Okay, I'm looking at early 2000s songs, and I don't know.
Punk. You have to look punk rock.
Yes.
Is that what you did?
No.
There's so many other. I was very into the punk rock.
Okay.
Nickelback.
Yeah.
Nickelback. That's more rock, right?
Yeah. Okay. So you listen to country. What kind of country songs did you like?
That's so embarrassing now. No, I listened to...
Most of these are pretty embarrassing, to be honest. So.
Yeah, I guess maybe. I listened to quite a bit of Paul Brandt.
Oh, yes. You liked Paul Brandt.
Yeah. And a couple of Kenny Chesney songs. And I can't remember any other country artists. They played such a part in my...
Yeah, they were so important to you.
Yeah.
It's like I can remember songs, kind of, or song titles. But, yeah.
What's the...
Oh, the Ataris. Remember the Ataris?
Yeah. And there's another band that was kind of like Simple Plan, but American. It was like the American version of Simple Plan.
Sum 41?
Yes, I think it was that one. Sum 41.
Blink 182?
Oh, and that was the one I was thinking of. Yeah, Blink 182. Oh, yeah. Okay, what's one of their popular songs?
Oh, I don't know.
Blink 182. Yes, I listened to quite a bit of them. And Simple Plan.
Now I'm looking at this list, and there's Bowling for Soup. There were some songs on there.
Blink 182. All the Small Things.
That was Blink 182?
Yeah. That was a good one.
Interesting. There was so I used to play, I really, as a kid, liked like sport video games. And so I had like all the NHL games when I liked hockey. And I remember, I think it was NHL 2004 or 2 had like the best soundtrack. And I feel like that's where half of these songs that I know are from. Like, the Jimmy Eat World stuff, and like they had like a super good soundtrack, and so that kind of reminds me of like.
So it doesn't make you think of dating; it makes you think of playing sport.
Well, it's just that whole like
EA
time
Sports.
period. It's in the game.
It's in the game. Yeah.
That's right. Anyway, yes.
Cool.
I could, yeah. If I looked back at like what was popular there, I'm sure there'd be a lot more that I could think of. But.
Oh, that's good. That takes me down memory lane for sure. We'll just skip out the country part.
What do you... So, I still listen to the Reliant K stuff pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Do you listen to anything... Like, what would you go back to and listen to of the stuff that you listened to from back then? Like...
Nothing.
Nothing?
No. Because we've gone over this, that I don't really...
I guess you don't listen to music. I
don't listen to music. We have, like, twice in our life... in our marriage gone back and listened to like a bunch of these songs. If I'm listening to music, I go to the 60s.
Right.
I like the 1960s. Yeah.
For some reason.
Yes. The Temptations. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. I don't go back to listen to the 2000s or any of that kind of stuff.
Well, Reika likes Reliant K now.
Yes,
so
she does. They're pretty cool.
Good. They have some fun songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we got some questions. I asked on Instagram, on my homeschool Instagram, because I wasn't sure where to put this, if people had marriage questions for a marriage-themed podcast, and we got a few. I don't know. I don't think we're going to be able to get to all of them. So just pick and choose. I guess I have the list here too.
Well, I thought the first one you have listed here is interesting. Is what do you do when you start to feel disconnected / how to stay connected in busy seasons? especially without babysitters, which kind of made me laugh because other than our parents,
yes,
how many times did we get babysitters?
I think I can remember once,
Yeah.
maybe twice. And that was when we just had Reka.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think once. There's once that I can for sure remember, like maybe there was
I think
twice.
we used the same person twice.
Could be.
That's when we were leading youth group.
Right.
And this person had just aged out of our youth group. So she came and babysat for us.
Yeah. But I mean, we did get like our parents to watch the kids sometimes. But like even that.
It's like one.
Very rarely.
Every 3 months.
Probably less than that. So what do you do to...
So we are pros of the without babysitters. Not that we couldn't have them. We just don't.
No, I think a lot of it is we like to do stuff at home. And so it feels weird to like we don't like to go out and do a lot of things.
No.
We go out and do enough things already where it feels like if you want to relax, it's kind of like an old at-home relax time.
Yeah.
So then it feels weird to like... Yeah, I don't know how you... I mean, you don't really get a babysitter in your house and then also just stay home. That would be weird.
Yeah.
But it's something that we should have done more, I think. I mean, it's all good, but...
Yeah. I think we should have got into the habit of doing it sooner so that it became a thing. But we didn't.
So then how do we stay connected, I guess? Because it is a busy season, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's always busy seasons.
There is. I think that we are coming out of a busier season. Like, we're busy every evening now, but the home life doesn't feel as busy.
No, that's true.
So what do we...
So, I mean, lately, we've gone for daily walks, which we've talked about before, which has been great. Like, it's been the last year consistently, I would say, and then the last 3 years inconsistently. Like...
Yeah, like for how to stay connected, I was going to say communication. And then our walks are a big part of that because we walk for, well, it depends how cold it is, different amounts of time, but we're talking the entire time.
But even without that, like we've always stayed pretty connected throughout the day with just like sending messages back, depending on like, especially when I wasn't working from home.
Yes.
Then there was like, sending texts throughout the day and stuff. I don't know. That's just how we've always been. And so... Yeah.
I think it helps in many ways that we are best friends. So it's like, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So...
Of course you do. Yeah.
Okay. But it does happen that there are seasons of feeling disconnected or seasons where we're just... insanely busy, overwhelmed. So what do we do when we start to feel disconnected? It's a good question.
It is a good question.
We have no answer.
I'm trying to think of a recent, because I know that we've experienced that more in seasons in the last few years, just with fostering. That has caused a lot more kind of general chaos.
Just like roommates seeing each other as we pass in the hall kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I do think that the daily walk has actually changed a lot of things for that.
Yeah, I would say that would be the biggest thing in the last
like if I had to choose between going on, I don't know, regular dates with you, whatever people consider regular dates, or a daily walk, I would give up the dates to go on the walk. Yeah. Because I think that's more important than a once in a while date.
Like a monthly date versus a weekly or a daily walk.
Yeah.
I would go with the daily walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it is. Yeah. It's communication and in whatever way that works for you. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, daily walks, if you can make it work, I think have been.
Yeah. I would say at least
huge.
give it a try if you can.
Yeah.
Or even if they're not daily, like whatever you can make work.
And we did skip yesterday and are skipping today, so it's not daily.
It's colder than -30. We get a little bit of break.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't want to talk to you today. Just kidding.
It's too cold. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's really. It's nothing really super profound there, but I think it's just.
I think when we start to feel disconnected, or for myself here, if I'm starting to feel disconnected, then I'm starting to like wallow, like, oh, I'm starting to
like feel sorry for yourself
and tell myself things that you're feeling or thinking without you even saying you're feeling or thinking these things, and actually talking to you and like seeing where you're at helps me realize where you're really at, and not me getting into my head and
assuming things, or assuming the worst, or something. Yeah, no, I get that.
Anything else off of there that you want to?
No, I think, yeah, like I said, it's not super, like, I don't know, mind-blowing or profound advice, but really
cheap,
the daily walk has been a big difference. And it's mostly because, we have that, 15 minutes to just talk to each other and kind of see what's going on. So, yeah.
And if I would say, if people have a bunch of little kids and a daily walk doesn't work, because like right now we can leave our big kids alone. The last year, the big kids have been able to watch the little kids, or we've gone during nap time while the big kids are home. I'd say even just like go to the playground, and you don't have to necessarily walk, but you could sit together while your kids are at the playground, or take your kids on the walk.
Daily walk with your kids, because we did that for a while too.
And sometimes if you can like pull them in a wagon or a stroller or something, so that they're kind of entertained and you're not like dragging them along the entire way.
Might have done that a few times.
Yeah. So I think there's ways to do it kind of no matter what kind of season you're in, as long as your spouse is also available at some point during the day.
Yeah, just find the time to. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like a big extravagant date. It can just sometimes be the time throughout the day. Sometimes
we've gone on walks at like 6 a.m. Sometimes we've gone on walks at 10 at night. Like it just
do whatever works. Whatever you have to do.
Yep.
Okay, is there one that you want to go for specifically?
I feel like touched on making time for each other in a busy season of life.
Yes, that's true.
When you're in a busy season, you're not going to have a whole lot of extra time. So I think that's a good way to do it. I think it helps both parties.
Yeah.
I'm curious about this one, what you would say. Personality-wise, how are we different or similar? And what are our love languages? We're both introverted.
Personality-wise. Yeah, I think we're, in many ways, quite similar. I would say.
I'm a procrastinator. You're a getter done the second kind of person, which helps for my procrastination. I just put it off and you do it. No,
I don't know. I wouldn't really classify you as a procrastinator, though.
On some things. If I don't want to do them.
Maybe. But there's a lot of things that you're working on a lot of things all the time. So
that's my form of procrastination.
You just work on something else that you want to do.
Yeah.
It's fair. How else are we different?
Thankfully, you like to budget. Or no, like to, maybe. Thankfully, you're willing to.
I do. I don't know if I like to.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we are more similar than we are different.
Yeah, I'm much more like detail oriented.
Yeah.
Where like if I'm going to buy something, I'll spend a few days researching what the best one is and then convince myself I don't need it.
Yep, that is 100%.
Yeah, and you're more like less worrying about the details.
Yeah, I'm definitely a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get lost in the details. Which, like the details, that is great. I'm glad you're...
Well, you need both.
Yeah.
And I definitely struggle more with the big picture, like life goals kind of thing, because it just feels so like, what does that even mean?
I'm a dreamer and you're a realist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which sometimes means that I'm a pessimist.
Yep.
Which I need to work on.
But it also means that you like don't let me go off in my crazy ideas sometimes.
But then you also need to like push me out of my like don't do anything because it'll
comfort
just
zone.
it'll never work kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. That's more my tendency, I would say.
Yeah.
Similarities list would be a lot longer.
Yeah.
Like, we're both, I don't know if we always have been, but we're definitely both like homebody people.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think this has evolved as we, like, throughout our marriage. I think we were more different personalities when we got married as opposed to where we are now.
Probably, yeah. We're becoming more like each other.
Yeah.
Becoming one.
So marry
more
somebody that you like, because you're going to become like them.
Marry someone that you want to be like, so that...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Love languages, yours, you like words of affirmation, I think that's the love language. Like, if you go with the love language book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm not good at.
You're not terrible. you do it sometimes, like.
But it is something that I like. Yeah, I need to work on, because it's like the words are in my head, but I don't think to. I'm not very articulate.
Well, and I would say, that words of affirmation and like quality time are kind of my things. But at the same time, we're also both introverted, so like I'm also okay with just spending time by myself. So it's a weird line. Your love languages, I don't know. Like, yeah. What would you say yours are?
I don't even know them all. There's like physical touch,
service,
gifts,
affirmation, and
what's the other one?
Time.
All right. Yeah. Well, I feel like you have to say, I don't know.
Well, see, the thing is, the theory is that you naturally show your love in your love language.
Right.
So then I would say yours would be service. Because I think that's how you naturally, because you have, like, if you see that I'm procrastinating and not doing things, then you step up and do things that are more like womanly work, in quotation marks.
A woman's work?
Yeah. If I'm not making cinnamon buns in the kitchen, you're in there. I never make cinnamon buns. You always do. Even like doing the dishes and that kind of stuff. I feel like that's, maybe you just get annoyed. Maybe it's not a love language. Maybe it's just annoyance.
I don't know. I guess I don't really see that as like something that you should be doing more than I should be doing, I guess. Maybe. So it doesn't feel like it's like, I don't know. I just see it as something that needs to be done. So then I just do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Well, so we don't know. I don't know your love language. You do.
I don't know if I know yours, but I don't know if I would know mine based on those either, really.
I'll have to...
Amalgamation.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Of all of them. So you got to do everything.
Okay.
Good luck with that.
Got to step up my game.
No, you're doing good.
This will be a therapy session on how I should do better. One of the things was the thing that we love the most about each other, and kind of piggybacking off of that, the thing
that we hate most about each other. Sorry.
No, I mean of the love language. We're just airing it all now.
Heard it here first.
The thing I hate about most about you is, the thing I love most about you is your willingness to serve, even like serve our family and other people, and even when you don't want to, I feel like you're always willing to. And I take note and realize that I should be better.
I would say...
No pressure. No, I said something I love about you. And you
Think quick. What could it possibly be? I just have such a long list. I can't rank them all.
I don't make cinnamon buns. I could list all the things I don't do.
One of the things... How are you supposed to rank the thing you love most?
Well, it doesn't have to be most. I will not.
Just, yeah.
A thing.
That I love about you is
The thing.
The one thing.
That I love.
Oh, you think I'm trying to delay it?
Yes. Just keep saying that over and over again.
So what I was going to say was, you are a very big encouragement to me. I feel like you always got my back, and you're always like, you have much too high of an opinion of me, I guess.
I do have a high opinion of you.
Which you're just very encouraging, and I really appreciate it. I always feel very supported. I never feel like you're like belittling me or thinking low of me or whatever. And yeah, you're very encouraging. You push me to do more than I would do, more than I think I am capable of, or not like you like
I'm shoving
forcing
you out.
me to do stuff, but
and this has turned into things I hate about you. No.
now onto that list. No. It's a movie, isn't it? 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah. Never seen
I
it.
think so. It's one of those ones that was out when we were dating, I think.
And we didn't even watch it, even though you worked at the movie.
I worked at a movie store, yes. Yeah. And I don't watch movies. But I got some good discounts.
On movies we don't watch.
Yep.
Sorry. Anyway, digression.
I always forget that I worked there.
I forgot until because you mentioned it the other day, because it's, what is it now? That golf place or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I worked there for quite a while, actually.
Yeah.
It was a good place to work. What else? There's other questions here.
Yeah, I'm looking through. Tips for being on the same page in front of the kids, rules and discipline, etc. This, I don't know if I have tips on this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we just kind of are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know how to give tips to get on the same page, I guess.
Yeah, that would it would be easier to give tips if we have been on different pages, but I don't feel like we really are on different pages.
Yeah. We've always been pretty much the same in how we want to do things.
I think it has to do with being raised fairly similarly.
Yeah.
So it's not like
growing up in a very the same culture, basically. And, and as we've grown together.
Yes. That there is an advantage to getting married young. Like, looking back now, I'm just like embarrassed to think of how immature I was. Even
for sure, yeah. Me too.
So we were married at the age of 20, but I feel like if I was who I was now and we got married now, I would be a very different person, much more set in my ways, and that way we got to grow together.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there's a lot less like conflict because we're both kind of figuring out the same things at the same time.
Yeah.
And so we figured them out together, and I guess that has probably let us avoid a lot of conflict in various areas.
Yeah.
I mean, we believe the same things.
Yes.
And so that is right away is going to make things a lot easier. Like I think there's a really good reason for the Bible saying like don't be unequally yoked, because I can just see how that would cause so many issues.
Mm-hmm. Well, even priorities
like family priorities and discipline and like what's important to you as a family, what's important in how you're raising your kids, how you spend your money, all that kind of stuff, all kind of flows out of your understanding of the gospel. And so if you're not on the same page there, I think it kind of all just starts there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it also helps avoid the conflict too in some ways, because it kind of goes back to that. So sorry, no real tips there.
No. Get married young.
believe in the gospel, and work everything out from there.
There you go.
That's the tip.
Yep. We're good at this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tips for avoiding arguments.
Yes.
You do this one.
No,
you're supposed to argue with me.
Oh, right. See, I'm terrible at this. We don't really argue much.
Why not?
I just let you get your way. No, that's usually your line. No. I don't know. I don't think if we have something we disagree on, usually one person feels more strongly about it and the other person just goes along with it. Like,
yeah, like, so first, I mean, we don't really disagree on the things we find really important. Yeah. And then the things that we don't find really important are not worth arguing about for either of us, really. So, like, yeah, it's more just not agree to disagree, but just like, yeah, like this is more important to you and you think this, then sure, like that's fine. Like, so, yeah, I don't know.
I think, like, in the grand scheme, if whatever, like, is what you're arguing about, does it actually matter? Like, I don't know what people argue about.
Yeah, well, and I think part of it is like being newly married and observing couples that argue with each other
in front of
other people.
Yeah.
And be like, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good lesson early on in our marriage, was taking note on things we didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And even you were talking about belittling before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I very much made it a goal to not get together with women and put down my husband, because that's awkward when people do that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want you doing that. And yes, had some good negative examples.
Just the experiencing that awkwardness, like, it was just like that's enough to be like, no, that's not how I want our marriage to be, where it seems like we're always fighting with each other or not on the same page, and I don't know, I don't feel like we're just like avoiding conflict or anything.
No. But I think this goes back, once again, back to our communication.
Yeah. Like,
we've talked stuff out so that it doesn't become an issue, or if it is going to become an issue, it's like able to be stopped earlier, or
it's dealt with before it becomes like something that's worth arguing about, I guess. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I was curious to know if there's anything that you've learned from marriage. From our marriage, from being married.
I'm definitely. I'm sure there is. I don't know. I'd have to think.
I didn't put this on the list. So
what specifically?
It's something that just jumps out at me, especially after the passage that we were going over this last Sunday. Was talking about women submitting to their husbands, and I remember being a teen and hating that verse. Mm-hmm. And thinking it was just like you're a welcome mat that your husband wipes his feet off on and then like goes into the house.
Do whatever he says and you got no.
Yeah. And I feel like our marriage has really taught me that that's not what that means. And I mean, also like studying the verse and the Bible and stuff too. But first of all, finding a husband that you want to submit to, or that's not the right way to say it. But if you're equally yoked, you should be having the same priorities and goals and putting Christ first. And I think that's the first step. I was always just, in my mind, picturing then men taking advantage of that and doing what they wanted. But I
feel like that's the connotation that the word submission has, where it's just like, I'm going to make you do things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like the other part of that passage, the other parts of that passage are often like not included when people talk about that. It's like, husbands, love your wives, and like so we were in Colossians, but if you look in where Paul also says, doesn't say it in Colossians, I can't remember which letter he says it in, but he says, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Mm-hmm. And so and gave himself up for it. And
that's
so
way harder.
It's like, if a husband is doing that, then like the submission doesn't really become an issue. So, and it is like, it's a heavy call for a husband too, to be basically, sacrificially loving their spouse without expecting anything in return or anything. So yeah. So you're asking me if I've learned anything.
That's okay. That was really on the spot, and you are a thinker, so I can't.
We could sit here for 20 minutes and I could just in silence while I think about it.
But that would make for.
It's a very engaging podcast.
Yeah. No, we can leave that.
No, I definitely. I mean, I obviously have. You don't do something like for 16 years without learning from it, but.
Okay.
Any other questions on here that we want to do?
I think we've covered most of them.
Yeah, I think so.
There's like some overlap. Our takeaways are
communicate.
Well, marry someone who believes the same thing as you. Communicate. Put Christ first. Don't belittle your spouse. And go for walks.
I mean, there's some good tips in there. I mean, we're still learning. Obviously.
Now we'll write a book.
Yeah. I feel like you got to be at least 40 before you can write a book about anything.
Okay. So we've got a few years.
Yeah.
Expect the book in a few years. No, just kidding. I never feel qualified to talk about marriage because I've never found it as big of a struggle as parenting. I feel like I've read more books about parenting, prayed more about parenting, invested more of my time in parenting because that is not something that comes as naturally, or it's more of a struggle for me, where our marriage is fairly easy and doesn't take a ton of work. Like, it takes work, but not when I think about the early years with our kids and stuff. I feel like if I were to write any kind of book, it would be more of a parenting book, as like to write a marriage. No, we're not writing a marriage book. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but like to write a marriage book when you haven't really struggled in your marriage is not very helpful.
Oh, it's like the athlete who's naturally gifted is a bad coach because they didn't have to learn how to do things. You're just naturally good at being a spouse. So.
I found my calling. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all the questions. I don't know if people were hoping for some really profound tips, but yeah, I think you kind of recapped it well with.
Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot of like you got to change all these things. They're pretty simple things.
Yeah.
So do that.
Do those simple things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Simple plan. The simple plan. Oh, just bringing it back.
Bringing it back. Yeah. I'm trying to add other band names in here, but I don't know how Reliant K fits into that. So, a simple plan with your Reliant K car. Do you know that was a car? The Reliant K is a car.
Is it?
Yeah, but they had to change. So Reliant. Okay, now we're totally.
Okay.
Marriage talk is done now. We're talking about Reliant.
Now we're on to the Reliant K talk.
So Reliant K, their band name, Reliant is spelt wrong, I think. Oh, am I going to be wrong now?
Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure.
Now we're going to just sit here and Google
Reliant K. No, I think might be wrong. No, I think I'm right. So Reliant is Reliant. Mm-hmm. But Reliant K is Reliant.
And they had to change it because, like...
I think they had to change it because of...
Interesting.
Yes. Reliant Motors.
Oh.
So there's a Reliant Motors. I think they had...
Interesting.
This is like... Oh... Yeah, the Reliant is like the Mr. Bean's Nemesis car, the 3-wheeler.
It's a 3-wheeler?
Well, not his car, but like that car. Like his...
Oh.
The Robin Reliant. Okay, now I might be totally just making this all up, but I feel like I researched this 15 years ago and came to the conclusion that they had to make their name
Okay.
with the wrong spelling of Reliant.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you because you think more about this. You value this more than I do. So I'll say you're right.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
This wasn't a tangent. This was an object lesson. Okay. I think that's it for us.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. And yeah, if you have any other questions about, I don't know.
We're really good at advice.
Yeah. Sure. Something like that. Yeah, any other questions or other topics that you'd like us to talk about, feel free to leave that in the comments. Other than that, have a good week and we'll see you around.
Bye.